This is a FouAVO Studio podcast.
Yo. Welcome to the second episode of Not Fully There with Dion Davis. Today's episode is simply about what the fuck is up with these goddamn apology videos on YouTube. There's people doing some stupid shit. They're out there apologizing because they don't want to lose their income. Before we get into that, look, you hear this song in the background? You hear the song? This is a Pharrell Williams x Chad Hugo x the Neptunes type beat. And you might heard the dude's tag, but it's from Horizon. Go ahead and check them out on YouTube. So, let me turn this down and then phase out the music so we can get a little bit more serious with this shit. Because we gotta talk. So, welcome to the second episode. All I really need is about 20 minutes of your time, and then you can go back and do whatever you gotta do. This podcast is also available on, I think, obviously, Apple Music, Spotify, and Amazon Podcasts. So, and my Amazon devices keep hearing me every time I say the A word. So yeah, YouTube, bro. I originally recorded this just to talk about YouTube, and then I scrapped it because I wanted to take my time and do a little more research because I uploaded it. It was about to go up on the internet, and then I changed my mind. I'm like, no. Let me go ahead and get some more research on that because the stuff I was saying was factual. It's just that it was more. I didn't really know what to do with the second episode. And sometimes when I make these, I'm only doing it every Wednesday and Saturday. I don't know what the topic would be other than the day of or maybe 2 days before, like the day is supposed to come out. So so this had been a bunch of apology videos on YouTube over the years, but I felt it feels like with everything that's been going on in the new age of this new kind of sensitive ass world, and I'm not being disrespectful when I say it's been a sensitive ass world. I'm just saying people has been extremely fucking sensitive, and maybe it's a good thing or maybe it's a bad thing. So I'm gonna give like at least a few examples, stuff that I know and I've seen because either I've watched these people throughout the super age of YouTube, and I'm only talking about YouTube people. If I got into to be honest, I don't think any celebrity out there who was doing some stupid, crazy shit has made an apology video. It's been mainly like influencers, like TikTok influencers, Twitter people, Instagram people, Thread people. I don't give a fuck. It's been those type of people who have been like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I damaged my community this way. I felt like that my community needs to be heard and needs to understand that I'm human. Like that type of shit. So let's get the Colleen Ballinger thing out the way. The Miranda Sings. Now, I didn't really know too much about whatever the fuck she did, but it seems as though that she went ahead and said, I'm sorry for what I've done. And then she made a fucking song about it. She did a ukulele song. And here's the thing. I'm not going to play it because now she is going through like copyright claims on YouTube and anybody who uploads anything that has her fucking song in it. So I'm going to just explain it. All she really was saying that, hey, yada, yada, yada. I did some stupid shit back in the day. Grooming, whatever the fuck, whatever the hell that stupid situation is. Maybe it wasn't grooming. Maybe she was giving these kids information about her real life and trying to do stupid shit, and at the same time, bash her friend who does like Trisha's Paytas, who does the OnlyFans shit, and body shamer. She went ahead and had those conversations with teenagers. Now, obviously, that's not normal. But she acknowledged that in a 10-minute fucking video with a ukulele talking about, I should never have done this, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Bitch, obviously you shouldn't have fucking did any of that type of shit. But she explained all this stuff in her life, from her failed marriages, yada, 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 to kids, bro. What the fuck is, like, if I was in her case, if I was in, like, not her case, if I was in, like, a kid, like a teenager case, like, why are you explaining this shit to me? Obviously, there's gonna be those people like, yo, man, Miranda Sings, the bitch who can't fucking put her makeup on, the character Miranda Sings, yo, she's talking about this and this and this. Why? Nobody knows, but yes, record this shit so in the future we can fucking bash her. And I feel like there's people who, like, I'm not gonna say like it's like bad when it comes to like people who did content back in the day. For example, Shane Dawson. That's one of another example I want to talk about. I used to watch Shane Dawson videos like around the time I officially joined YouTube in like 2007, 2008. And watching his videos and like Fred's videos, Smosh and all that and all them, I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. Now, I never had a problem with Shanae, the character that he was playing. I never had a problem with it. That he has this character that's like a black person. At that time, you think that, oh, that's normal. That's just comedy right there. But as the generation who's watching them now start finding videos like, you know, him make like one of his old podcasts, he made a joke about like fucking his cat or whatever. And then he makes an apology video about like, I'm sorry I said those type of things. That was offensive. Now, at the time, his manager or his agent, he was on a podcast with her, and she was like, you shouldn't have say that, because later down the line there's gonna be somebody who's going to bring it up and is going to ruin your career, and most likely that's technically what the fuck happened. But his career is still going well. In that case, he just made a joke, or he also had blackface on in certain tastes like that, certain situations like that. Because again, that was the comedy and the shit that YouTube at the time. Now that doesn't justify that's not a justification of anything that, you know, back in the day when everybody was doing stupid shit on YouTube, that now if you watch their videos now, or you somehow find a deleted video from that person, that, oh, it's okay to talk about it. And once it's out there, it's out there. Now you got like Kevin Hart. He might have said some shit about, oh, he doesn't want to have a gay son, yada yada yada, because like, oh, I don't want my son playing with no fucking dolls because that's gay. Like, you know, he lost things because of that. But at the end of the day, he still went through it and dealt with it. Now, that's comments. That's a comment about things that he says about a community. Now, you can't bash the LGBTQ community, but there's people who can bash it, but they're bashing it in a positive way. Like, I guess like how Dave Chappelle did. But Dave Chappelle's a comedian. Kevin Hart's a comedian. But if somebody who is saying, like, if I was to say some crazy shit like that, I'm not a comedian. So people would look at me like, whoa, shit, Dion, why the fuck you saying shit like that? That's not funny. You have no purpose to be funny. Are you making money to be funny? No, you're just on here making a podcast, talking about whatever the fuck for free, for now, but for free. Well, what is your purpose and where do you come from? So, but the thing with Colleen, it turned into this thing where everyone's like, so we all know she did wrong, okay? But then they started to find shit that she started to find things. Everybody started finding things that she did back in the day, like it was like a video her singing like a Beyonce song. Everyone was trying to say, oh, she's wearing blackface. Well, technically she wasn't. It just happened to be that the character she was playing in Wicked, and while she still had a little bit of the residual makeup on, which is green, but she's in the process of singing a Beyonce song. So at the end of the day, it's not like, you know, I get that she wasn't intentionally to do something in blackface. It's just that it happened to be pseudo blackface, and people found it offensive. Because again, people can find things offensive. They can get offensive. They can get offensive over it because that's their right. If somebody is doing something that you don't seem as right, and you speak out your mind about it, obviously you have every right to do so, but it just depends on the situation. Now, for example, EDP445. If you don't know who the hell EDP445, his name is basically Eat That Pussy 445. He was a dude on YouTube who was always highly fucking praising the Philadelphia Eagles and yada yada yada. But over the years, he's always been somehow, some way, he's always been accused of being a pedophile. Now, let's use that word lightly. Has there been anything that EDP has done that can prove that he has potentially touched any kid or did anything in that manner? Possibly not. But he had conversations with people that his community was part of, and that's where the problem starts. You have this community that have that occasionally minors might check out your stuff, and you are choosing and you are willing to go ahead and communicate that person because for your own sexual gratification. And he denied all these things so many times before he got caught by predator poachers and CC Unit. Those are two predator catchers that do things on YouTube. There's so many on there, like Skeeter John, who he does like Skeet Hansen like impressions. It's like a mixture of Chris Hansen, and then you got like some of these other smaller groups that basically are out there to lure these pedophiles out there and to basically stop them from doing anything in the future. Because at the end of the day, if there isn't a real child and you get caught in the process, that is better for that to happen than the actual child being traumatized in that case. And as you can tell, a majority of the things that's happened on YouTube with these apology videos has been the ones that are really, really drastic. Has been people who either communicate themselves with the community, who have majority of their fan base is minors, and that's the problem. But why hasn't that been fixed? And I don't think it would be fixed. I mean, I think it's been fixed with like, there's been like videos where only 13 plus can watch it, or there's the YouTube Kid things. But there's somehow, some way, there's always people that slip through the cracks. Now, I'm not trying to make this the remaining of this episode about pedophiles. But my main problem is that there's people on the YouTube, there's people on the internet, there's people everywhere that somehow, some way, fucking fall through the cracks, and that's the problem. And there's no way to fix the fucking problem. There's people out here who are deep hard ass predators trying to get with your child, or trying to get with your neighbor's child, or anything like that. And only thing that these internet fucking things can say is that, oh, well, there wasn't really intent. There was an intent, but it never happened, so we can't really do nothing. Like, what the fuck kind of shit is that? And that's the thing that gets people angry. That's why these fucking these groups start, because the police can't do anything. So let an independent fucking journalists do that shit. I like how Skeeter John is doing everything, and I like how Trilogy Media is doing things. Occasionally, what Predator Poachers does, but that's an issue. But CC Unit, all those other creators have been out here doing the fucking work, and at least they're working with police, with law enforcement, to help. Because I know for a fact, not every law enforcement agent is on every single site just double checking everything to make sure that everybody who's trying to be a predator and all that other shit is out. It's like on there to fucking stop the shit. Not every police officer is doing it. Not every law enforcement is doing it. Not every agency is doing it. So what's the easiest way to stop it? You can't. And that's where the issue comes, where these people are apologizing and they're talking about, I'm sorry. Like, it took EDP 2.5 years to fucking admit what he did when he got caught of trying to get a cupcake. Like, that shit's dumb as fuck. And the problem is, at the end of the day, we can't stop these fuckers. But if we were to stop these fuckers, guess what? You kill them, you hurt them, you do whatever, you don't want to go to jail. Because the law needs to take its fucking charge, and the law need to take charge. The law need to go ahead and help. The law is the one that's going to fucking put them in jail. That's their fucking jury and executioner. Who gives a fuck? Nobody gives a fuck. Okay? But I feel like these apology videos are bullshit. You could apologize all day long. EDP officially apologized and said, I'm sorry about the events that happened with the cupcake event or whatever. Like, what happened that day, that he was supposed to meet up with this 13-year-old girl for a cupcake, even though the conversation was about, everything sexual in a hotel, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. He met up and he got caught by Chet Jetson, what the fuck the nigga name from Predator Poachers, and then Ghost from CC's unit. And how the interview happened, technically nothing really happened out of it. It's just that it hurt his reputation, because everybody on YouTube, Every single fucking YouTuber, every single Twitch streamer, everybody on YouTube reacted to that video, that video when he got caught, and that was basically his whole entire life for years. He tried to fit himself through YouTube and failed. He failed to fit himself through TikTok, yada yada yada. But you got to understand, there's most of these applications, most of the people who know who EDP are either underage or over the age of 18, and somehow, some way, EDP found his way to fucking bother all these people during the first few times he was fucking accused of doing stupid shit, and he still kept doing it to this day. It was at one point where he knew that he fucked up and before this whole cupcake gate shit happened, and guess what happened? He just continued on because he has some type of weird ass fucking perversions that he can't fix. He needs help. Well, get the help. You don't need to apologize on everybody. You don't need to apologize and tell everybody that you're wrong, and because you want to make some money. At the end of the day, same thing with Colleen. It does not matter if you apologize for your mistakes. Whatever happened has happened. It's done is done. Get some fucking help and stay off the internet. Because it's not gonna happen. It's not in one fucking day. It's not gonna change. Where, oh, I'm sorry I did this thing months ago. I'm sorry I did this years ago, and now I want to apologize and take accountability because I'm sorry that I have no more income coming in because I fucked up. Like, shut the fuck up. Because it's not going to make a difference. One day it might be. Why don't you see any? Why? Okay. Do you see anything about what Matt Lauer's doing? No. Wanna know what happened? Obviously got caught doing. He got caught doing something, or somebody accused him of doing certain things. He admitted it, and then guess what? He lost everything he had. He was one of the highest fucking news people in the world, and you know what happened to him? He's now no longer in the spotlight because he wants to protect his fucking. He wants to protect his identity and from any further problems. But these YouTube people want to go ahead and try their best to tell everyone, I'm sorry for what I did. Nigga, you is not Bill Clinton. You are not a Clinton. You are not anybody who needs to apologize. We understand you might have did wrong. At this point, the common sense will be stay off the media and just admit to people in the beginning instead of lying, going on all these things like, man, I ain't do shit. I was set up. And then lie and then admit it a month later after you had an interview about saying that you got set up. Nigga, I don't give a fuck. And Colleen, nobody gives a fuck. You're dumb for going ahead and putting your song on Apple Music through fucking this CD Baby. Now, every time a motherfucker reviews your video, you're claiming it. That's bullshit. You shouldn't have went ahead and said, I'm not going to listen to my lawyers and I'm going to fucking make a ukulele song. You fucked up. Shane Dawson, on the other hand, he seemed like he's doing okay now, even though he really do too much. There's some other YouTubers who used to do blackface or some type of other offensive content that was like shock at the time. But you got to understand, people grow, and that's how things happen. YouTube in 2008 is completely different than how it is YouTube in 2023. Okay? So, with that being said, I'm going to get ready to end this episode, and all I like to say is thank y'all for checking out the second episode of the Not Fully There podcast with Dion Davis. This episode is. Sometimes I get angry, sometimes I get mad, and I sit there and I forget that I'm been recording for almost 20 minutes. In some cases, I might not have nothing else to fucking say, and I'm talking about random shit up until the point where it's time to go. But today's episode is just about these apologies need to stop. People need help if they have these perverted feelings or whatever toward minors or anyone underage. And it's like, I understand people go through their shit. People go through life like this. I get it. But at the same time, you can't go and just say, I'm going to fuck somebody else's life up and everybody has to deal with it. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see y'all Saturday. And yeah, let's fix the problem by killing everyone. Okay, bye. Holy shit, what is wrong with me?
This is a FouAVO Studio podcast.